Hi there, folks. This is John here. I'm one of the facilitators with the Go-to-Market Enablement team, and today we're going to be talking about user permissions, team structure, partitioning assets, and the hierarchical team tools that we have in HubSpot. So a lot of this is interconnected, so please bear with me, but we're going to start by talking about user permissions. So user permissions are something that we can do to basically choose which assets our reps and our teams have access to. So say, for example, with HubSpot's team permissions, every user will only have access to the right assets, which means better organization, higher efficiency of the company. Perhaps you want your marketing team to be focusing their efforts on one set of contacts, your sales team focusing their efforts on another set of contacts. This means the permissions assets or the permission sets that we have mean that you can you make sure that the marketing team only see the relevant objects for their team, and the sales team will only see the relevant objects for their team, and it helps people stay focused and productive, and it keeps everything very organized and efficient. So with that, we will then talk a little bit about teams and how we can do this in HubSpot. There's a great knowledge base article here with the full guide and outline. And what Teams basically does is it means we can group together people with the same sets of permissions, or we can open it up. People want to have access to maybe only deals that they own, or they can open up to access to deals that their team owns. So someone on their team owns. So again, we can increase, decrease visibility to assets or to objects as we wish. So this is all about for potentially companies that have growing teams. If they're taking new teams on board, they don't want new teams to access previous ones, or we don't want sales reps poaching assets or deals from another team. This is where we can come in here and separate those assets out. So we'll start by looking at user permissions. How we get into user permissions in HubSpot itself is if we click into settings icon here, scroll down to account setup, and we can see users and teams. Now you can see this is my personal portal. I have a lot of fake users set up here, admin users, marketing users, and sales users, and you can see the teams that they've been added to, and you can see the access that they have here as well. So to first point out with permissions, we can do this on a granular level for an individual user. Let's say this contact or this user here, the account test user, I can click into their permissions and I can change these manually. I can say this user will have access to everything, or to team only, or to owned only. Obviously, I can't change it because this user is deactivated, but we can do this on a granular level. We can do it by CRM, marketing, sales, service access, reports, or account access. Generally, account access would be for admins or super admins, but it limits the tools that they can have access to. So this is how we would do it on the individual user level. Now let's take a look at someone here, Sally Sales. She's in the sales team in America. We can see that she has what's called a sales rep permission set. So there's basically a set of permissions that we can create to say, like, every user that has this permission set will abide by these rules. So we'll scroll down here. So Sally can only see contacts that she owns, or contacts that she owns, or deals that she owns. So we can do that here. What we can do actually is if we can go back to the permission sets, I'll show you quickly here, click into permission sets, we can adjust this to say, actually, I don't want her to see just the deals that she owns. I want her to see the deals that her team owns. So we can click into the permission set here. I'll just quickly go back there a step. So we'll look at the sales rep permissions, which is what Sally has been set with. And we can scroll down and say, yeah, not owned only. I want her to see her team only. So not just the assets that she owns. I want to change everything so that she can see all the assets that are owned by her team, so they can collaborate, share information, share insight. Perhaps they can work the same leads, or two reps can work the same deal. Great stuff. Now my sales team will be able to see the assets that are shared by that team. Great. So now I've adjusted that, and that has now adjusted the permission set for all of my sales users. If I click in here, we can filter by permission set. Let's see, sales rep permission. So yeah, my whole sales team now, whether they're based in EMEA or based in America, we can see that all of their permissions have just been changed with that one set I've done. So again, we can bulk edit the permissions for multiple users at one time. Now we'll take a look at teams, which kind of does a similar job in a way to the permission sets, but tackles it in a different way. So we see we have two main teams here: admin and marketing, global sales and service. We can see here that we also have child teams. What this means is that there are teams contained within, there are like smaller teams contained within this team, obviously. So let's take a look at global sales and service. We can see that within here we have sales team America, sales team EMEA. There's two users in each of these. If we click into edit, we can see that this has Sally and it has Simon. If we click into this team in EMEA, we can click edit and we can see this has Shannon and Sean. So these two teams have different members. And these two different members, so let's say, Shannon will be able to see Sean's assets, deals, contacts, etc. And Sean will be able to see Shannon's because we've adjusted the team permissions there. However, if we go back to the all teams here, the users in the global sales and service team, which are John Curvin, which is me, and the big boss, who's like maybe the big boss of global sales, they can see the assets that are owned by both teams. So now again, I'm a super admin on the account, so I can see all of them. But the big boss character, the fake user that I've set up there, the big boss here will be able to see assets owned by both teams because both of those sales teams are within his parent team. So this way, we can structure it so that the American reps only see the American deals, the EMEA reps only see the EMEA deals. However, those who are on the global sales team, the main users here, will be able to see both deals from both regions, will be able to see deals from both teams. So we can structure the visibility for different users, for different levels of organization in our business. And again, it allows us to create, supervisors who can overview lots of the data, and it allows us to separate the data or the assets for different reps who we don't want to, have any crossover. We don't want anyone poaching any reps. And we can do the exact same thing for our marketing and admin teams. If you want marketing to have another mini team in here as well, let's say we have a mini marketing team, perhaps it's regional, perhaps it's for a bracket of a certain type, a certain industry or a certain business model or something like that. We can create teams within other teams, and each of those will have separate permissions potentially, and it's all customizable. So the main takeaways here is that you can customize the access that that all of your teams will have, whether they're a global team, regional, local team. You can customize their access to different assets in HubSpot. Additionally, what I've done here in the permission sets, you can create ones for reps who are staff who are with you for a long term, or you could say people who are coming in to build reports only. They will only have access to view contacts and access to create reports. I don't want them touching my marketing contacts or my deals. They will only be able to build reports. So if you say have someone who comes on for a temporary period and has a specific purpose, you can restrict their access for that specific purpose only. So this video has gone a little bit long, but I hope you've appreciated what we've gone through. We've gone through the users, teams, permission sets, and the main aim here again is to keep your CRM nice and tidy. Make sure there's no crossover between your teams, and make sure that you have the visibility that you want and that your team will have the visibility that you set for them. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.